Okay, so this video is about Venus and Scorpio, and I want to give you my individual personal perspective on what it feels like to have this placement. And my videos are not highly technical in terms of the astrological terms that I use, but I want to give you a personal perspective on what it feels like to have this placement. So, just to give you a little bit of background, Venus is the co-ruler of Libra and Taurus, and Taurus is opposite to Scorpio, meaning that Scorpio is in detriment in Venus. So, what does it mean, detriment? It's not a bad thing, but we have to understand what it means. It means that it's not a comfortable position for the Scorpio to be in Venus, because the Venus is all about charm and beauty and attraction and the superficial outside beauty aesthetics, and the Scorpio is much deeper inside. So Venus is the planet of beauty and love and relationships, and in its natural co-rulers of Libra and Taurus, it should be easy, but it's not easy in Scorpio. Um, Love can be difficult and painful in Scorpio, but also it can be really rewarding. If so, I mean, for me, I would say a, as someone who has a Venus in Scorpio, I mean, I really enjoy my Mercury in Scorpio in the 12th house, but I have sometimes I have to be a little bit careful about my Venus in Scorpio, and that's my suggestion to everyone who has displacement. Just be a little bit careful and aware of what's going on, and just think in your mind about what if I mean, just question yourself from time to time and ask yourself if what you're feeling or thinking. You're gonna have strong feelings, and strong feelings, you tend to feel that they're correct or something. You feel like you're in the right when you have those intense feelings, but you might not. So we give a lot to people we're in relationships with, we're in love, and uh, we're completely 100% dedicated to these people, to the people we love, and we just don't care about the world. I mean, when it comes to giving time, our energy, our everything to our love, we give it. And sometimes sometimes when we don't get that back from our partner, we tend to get hurt, and we tend to get all these negative feelings in our heads and our minds that, is this relationship heading in the right way, in the wrong way, blah blah blah. It's important to ask yourself in those moments, is the problem with me or with my partner? Am I being unreasonable in what I'm thinking, or am I being reasonable? Is it realistic to expect this from my partner? That's extremely important, because otherwise, if you don't do that, if you don't do this, then unfortunately you're not going to be with anyone for a long time. I mean, you're just going to have broken relationships, relationships that end because you know you just you can't handle this. So it's important that you have an understanding in your mind about what you can realistically expect from your partner, and also about giving, about how much you want to give. I mean, there needs to be a little bit of balance, and unfortunately, Scorpio's not good at it. It's not good at balance. So, um, for me, I think about, how much can I give to my partner, as much as I can, without overcompensating myself, and without, uh, putting myself in a vulnerable position that can get me hurt. You still give your all as much as you can, but you only do it to a certain limit. You don't do it like regular Venus and Scorpio does. I mean, you still have to live your life, and you have to have a little bit of balance in your life. So it's important that you ask yourself, and I'll give you an example. So, and I like to think myself as someone who's a reformed Venus and Scorpio. I mean, I understand the intensity of this energy, and I understand how I need to work on this. But even for me, sometimes it can be a challenge. So, for example, my girlfriend is out on her trip with her friends in Malaysia. She flew there. She's been out for a week, and I haven't really had the chance to talk to her in 3 to 4 days. We've been chatting with each other, but when I'm not talking to my girlfriend and when she's having a great time, I love that she's having a great time. But but I had this negative thought today in my mind that I wish she could take a little bit of time out of her, fun time, just so that she could talk to me or something like that. And she's on a trip, and it's not realistic. I mean, she's doing everything she can. She's keeping in touch with me. She's sending me her pictures. She's chatting with me. But I mean, is it realistic of me to think of her? I mean, to think that she should take special time out for me, out of her trip. I don't know. I think it's unrealistic of me to even think of that. And so it's little things like that. We would tell ourselves in our minds that, we would do this for our partner, but is it realistic for us to do this? That's where it gets tricky because we think we can give everything for our partner, but our partner can be giving us a lot, but it might not be good enough for us. And that's something we need to really work on about the kind of expectations we should have from the people that we love. They should be realistic because I know I have a really loving girlfriend. She does a lot for me, she cares a lot about me. But it's important that before you confront or before you talk to your girlfriend about your feelings, it's important that you understand these feelings and where they're coming from. And it's important that you get a clarity on it because otherwise people are just going to see you as crazy intense, and they're not going to you're not your relationship's not going to able to survive. So it's important that you have an understanding. And that's where I think Venus and Scorpio people have problems because they can just be too damn unrealistic, and just demand too much from people. And it's not, like, honestly, it's important that we kind of tone down our expectations because, yeah. And other than that, I wanted to say that, I mean,